Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to do an interesting comparison here between three stocks. I'm going to answer which stock is the best one to buy between Microsoft, Meta Platforms, and Nvidia. I'm going to compare them across four different metrics, starting with revenue growth. So let's get right into it. Looking back over the last 5 years in revenue growth, Nvidia, you see wildly fluctuating revenue growth, right? Starting with the highest revenue growth, falling to the lowest revenue growth, then rising again to being the highest revenue growth, then falling again to be the lowest revenue growth. And that's the nature of Nvidia's business. It's a cyclical business, and that's going to continue for the longer term. Meanwhile, Meta Platforms is seeing its revenue growth decelerate, turning negative 4.5% in its most recent quarter. In the last couple of years, it's facing significant headwinds, first from TikTok, second from the privacy policy changes at Apple, and third with decreasing advertising demand. So that's impacting its growth here. Microsoft has experienced the most stable revenue growth out of the three, and finishing with the highest at 1.97%. However, this is the slowest growth Microsoft has experienced over the years, and this is due to the big influx in revenue it got during the earlier stages of the pandemic as people were spending more time at home, gaming more, buying more computers, spending more time working from home, working online, and so all of that gave a boost to Microsoft various businesses, and now that's kind of decelerating. But overall, right now Microsoft has the best position in terms of revenue growth, and Nvidia is in the worst position in my opinion, and it's probably going to be there for the next couple of quarters as the inventory in the system needs to work itself through. The next metric I wanted to look at is the operating margin for the trailing 12 months between these three companies. And again, Microsoft way in the lead here with a 40.58% operating margin in the trailing 12 months, which is absolutely excellent. And Meta and Nvidia are very close at roughly 25%. And if you look across time, again, Microsoft has been the most stable, with Nvidia experiencing the fluctuations. I'm sorry, Meta Platforms experiencing the fluctuations, going up as high as over 45% and falling as low as 24.8%. The next metric I wanted to look at is cash flow from operations compared to the trailing 12 month sales. And I want to see how good is the company at turning a dollar of sales into a dollar of cash flow. And Microsoft turned 41% of sales into cash flow from operations. Meta Platforms was even better at 43%. And Nvidia came in third place here, turning 22% of sales into cash flow. Now, some sales come with a greater degree of expenses than other sales. Meta Platforms, as you might imagine, it's not very expensive to run a business delivering advertisements once you reach the scale that Meta Platforms has reached with over 3 billion monthly active users. And so the cost of goods sold and total costs are minimal for Meta Platforms. In fact, if we were to exclude all of its massive investments in trying to turn into a metaverse company, its cash flow from operations to sales and its operating margins would have looked even more impressive. And so maybe some of these investments in the longer term turn out to be hugely positive. That remains to be seen, but for now, it's hurting its operating margins, with the possibility, with an option that, 4 or 5 years down the line, that turns into a really big business. Finally, I wanted to look at these three stocks valuation. I want to see how expensive they are, which one is the most expensive and which one is the cheapest. And looking at the forward price to earnings ratio, Nvidia is the most expensive at a forward PE of 51.75. Microsoft is next at 28.37, and Meta Platforms is the cheapest at 19.1. three. So considering their valuations and the critical metrics that I compared the three on, I'm going to say the best one of these three stocks to buy right now is Meta Platforms. Meta Platforms is the best one to buy right now considering its prospects and its valuation. All right, so that's all I've got for this video. As always, I truly appreciate you tuning in, watching my videos, and I really hope to see you next time for another one of my videos. Thank you for watching. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.